warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and welcome back to our channel Learn Quran with Sadia Yasin. Today we're going to read one of the stories from this book, Good Night Stories from the Quran. And the story name is The Gardens Watered with Running Stream. And just like always, I will read the story first, and after reading each page, I will tell you the moral that we have learned. So let's begin. Long, long ago, there lived two friends, one a rich gardener and the other a poor farmer. The gardener owned two beautiful, well-watered gardens full of flower and all kinds of fruits, especially grapes and dates. He thought all this was the result of his hard work and clever planning, rather than a blessing from Allah. One day, he showed the poor farmer around his garden and proudly said to him, "I am richer than you and my clan is mightier than yours, and surely this will never perish, nor do I believe that the hour of doom will ever come." So from the starting of the page, we get to know that there were two friends, one a rich gardener and one a poor farmer. And the rich gardener had two gardens, and they were like very ripe, and they had grapes and dates, most of them. And he thought of that this was the result of his hard work and clever planning, and he did thank Allah. Now let's read what's next. When the poor farmer saw his friend behave in this wicked way, he asked, "Have you no faith in him who created you from dust, from a little germ, and fashioned you into a man? As for myself, Allah is my Lord, and I will associate no one else with him. Instead of entering the garden proudly, you should have acted humbly and said, 'What Allah has ordained must surely come to pass. There is no strength except in Allah.'" So this part is telling us that when the poor farmer saw that his friend was being so rude and wicked, he told him that Allah is the one who is giving him, and he should be thanking Allah. But he still didn't listen. The very next day, calamity struck. The rich man's garden was laid waste. All the fruits were destroyed, and the vines had tumbled down upon their trellises. Realizing his own mistake, he cried, "If only I had served no other gods beside my Lord." This story is meant to teach believers never to speak proudly, but to say in all humility, "Whatever Allah has ordained must surely come to pass. There is no power except Allah." And let me remind you before we finish that this story is present in Surah Kahf. If you read it, then you will surely find it in the either second or third page. So now I will explain the story to you. There were two farmers. There were two friends, one a rich gardener and one a poor farmer. And the gardener had two farms, two gardens in which there were so many fruits and plants, and most of them were grapes and dates. He thought that this was the result of his clever planning and hard work, rather than thinking that this was the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he thought that this will never perish. Perish means never disappear. And he also thought that the hour of doom will never come, which means the day when everyone is raised from death. And the other farmer, who was the poor one, tried to tell him that Allah is the only one, and Allah is the one who gave him these gardens and made the plants bloom, made the flowers bloom and all that. But he didn't listen still. And the very next day, a calamity struck, which means something happened that the garden was completely destroyed. And let me tell you the moral of this story. Ifra, did you realize the moral of this story?
Yeah.
What is it?
The moral is there were two friends, and there was a poor farmer, and there was one rich gardener.
Yeah. So what's the moral? What did you learn from this story?
That the poor didn't have a garden, and the rich one had a garden.
Well, that is a part of the story, but not exactly the moral. So I will tell you and Ifra the moral of this story. So Ifra, I will tell you the moral of this story is that we should never be too proud and we should thank Allah for whatever we have, okay?
Okay.
If we get too much, we should share it with other people. And we should never think that this is due to our hard work. So I hope you like this story, and Ifra, I hope you learned something new. Did you learn?
Yeah.
So did you like the story too?
Yeah.
So I hope you also like this story. Jazakallahu khair for watching. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.